Welcome to Idle Red Hands. I'm Jeremy, and I just received this box. This box is from Warehouse 23, and in this box is hope. It's an end to all this nonsense. Warehouse 23 just opened back up and resumed shipping, and so I placed this order as soon as shipping resumed. So who is Warehouse 23 and what is in this box? Well, I can give you a quick little idea. So that's Steve Jackson Games website for shipping all of their games, and this is the I Want It All box from the Fantasy Trip. So this was available from their Kickstarter. They did a Kickstarter for the Fantasy Trip, and this included everything that they offered in a kind of the all-in pledge. And they have this just become available on their website. So obviously I missed the Kickstarter, and I was really interested in seeing what they had and taking a look at this box, and it has arrived. So a little bit about the Fantasy Trip. This was something that completely escaped me during my early gamer days. So for whatever reason, I was a very brand loyal D&D fan in the late 70s and 80s, and had no idea about things like Tunnels and Trolls or the Fantasy Trip or other alternatives that people had come up with when they found some of the rules or some of the mechanics in early D&D not playable or not to their liking. So the Fantasy Trip was one of those things, and I recently stumbled across Melee. So Melee is a component and almost like a standalone combat game, hex-based game, that was developed by Steve Jackson that you could actually play just as a standalone game, but was the combat component of, or how you resolve combat, I guess, in the Fantasy Trip. So I was a huge fan of Steve Jackson Games. Anything in a black clamshell from Steve Jackson I think I owned. We played a ton of Car Wars and Ogre and even Illuminati back in the day. And so I was a bit embarrassed that I didn't have any of the Fantasy Trip, and I guess I have to blame Mike's Games and Hobbies for that, because he was the stockist that I relied on. And pre-internet, all you had is basically magazine ads and word of mouth to tell you what was available. So to make up for all of that, the sins of my childhood. Oh, and another thing too is the frustrating thing is something like this would have been excellent to have, because Steve Jackson Games and hex games and token games were basically the only thing that I could get my friends to play. Nobody was going down the Dungeons and Dragons path like I was. And the other thing that I think I could sympathize deeply with Elliot in E.T. when the older kids are not letting him join the game.
Well, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play now, you guys.
Because that was kind of my situation. I was in a younger group of kids, and the older group of kids, were the ones that kind of monopolized the back room of the hobby shop, and we never got in. So here we go. To make up for all of that, here is the Fantasy Trip I Want It All box from Steve Jackson Games. Let's take a look. And as you can see, it's been through a several rounds of customs, and there's even a little bit of a customs fee, not bad, like $10. So this retails for $1.99, and I won't even begin to tell you how much it costs to ship to Japan, but let's take a look. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right. They got the license, the Warhammer license, so there is a Warhammer Age of Sigmar Munchkin, and you get a free Munchkin card. Look at that. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I love the illustrator that does the Munchkin games, but I'm not a huge fan of Munchkin. So here we go. So another ad for Munchkin and Gelatinous. Oh, nice. Dice-based game. Yeah, so here, Warehouse 23, there's the URL for everything. Yeah, lots of nice custom dice and Age of Sigmar Munchkin. And a protective sheet. Wow, and more free cards. Oh, Illuminati, there we go. There's a card from the new set of Illuminati. So nice little freebies that they threw in. And one more Age of Sigmar Munchkin. All right, so here we go. So this looks like a screen. Yeah, this looks like it possibly could be a Game Master screen. Oh, I'm gonna have to cut it up. Where's my knife? So I'll just open everything as we go. It may not be kind of in the best order, and forgive me for all the ripping and tearing plastic sounds. I got a sensitive mic, and I'll try to keep the gloss off of everything. Oh, no, this is just a binder. Nice. A binder to keep things in. And then your list of options. Nice. And I believe this is another one. Yes, and here's another table on the side. Yeah, so this is a pocket. So this is pocket folder A, and I'm assuming that was pocket folder B. So folders to keep everything else. So nice theming. And the Fantasy Trip Companion. So kind of going a little backwards. And as you can see, a very nice glossy cover. Yeah, the production is nice on these books. And so, yeah, as I was assuming, black and white interiors, but decently printed and very nostalgic art. And that was the other thing too. When the Fantasy Gamer is kind of what led me to how big the Steve Jackson role-playing Fantasy Trip world was. Oh, it has some really great throwback art. Marker on paper. Nice. All right. So there's the companion, so an anthology. So both parts of the game about the campaign. And yeah, so this was made possible. So this was a stretch goal from the Kickstarter itself. Oh, it looks like here is the rule book itself, a hardcover. So that was just a soft cover. And here is the hardcover. So old school dungeon crawling at its best in the Fantasy Trip. Nice. So let's take a look. Yeah, again, nice production, nice throwback art. So I'm assuming this is all the original art from back in the 80s. Maybe some updated. There's a couple of sharper pieces. So I'll have to take a look at the Kickstarter page to see if they did actually commission some new art. But a lot of nostalgic stuff. Nice. Oh, that's great. Yeah, nice sturdy book, and whoa, so this is the first print run exclusive items inside. Oh, okay, so I don't know how easily I can get this out of here. There we go. All right, there we are. So this is the Legacy Edition. So I'm assuming this is where melee and wizardry and everything is hiding. So this includes I guess from the Kickstarter, first printing exclusive items. So let's take a look at the back of the book. Yeah, so this is first edition, printed 2019. All right, so old school role-playing, easy to learn, fast to play. Nice. Yeah, so it's been out of print for decades. So this, I believe it was 2018. So 2018 Kickstarter brought this back. Or at least it shipped in 2018, and this just became available on their website recently. So, and then of course we had the lockdown, and that's why I'm saying this box is full of hope, because it's hope for a day beyond all of this, where we can actually meet in person and game. Yeah, I don't plan to do any online sessions of this. I hope to meet people face to face, just like the old days, once everything is all clear. So let's open the box, and again, a nice sturdy box. And see, there's hexes. So there's the screen is in here, and then all the supplements and hexes. So what does this include? Character and treasure cards, dry erasable. 1 14 hex dragon counter, custom player folios, mega hex storage box, 3 2.5 by 3.5 melee 50 sheet character pads, 3 5 by 3.5 wizard pads, the extra acrylic, 2 extra acrylic 6-sided dice matching the melee and wizard dice. Oh wow, so there's more there's boxes within boxes. And the double-sided full color 6th level 11 by 17 Labyrinth to help you create your own adventure. So I'm reading that off the bottom. I'm not sure if that's on camera. This box is so big, and here's a little peek at what the hex maps, or the maps are looking like. Nice. Read this first. The Legacy Edition. So welcome to Fantasy Trip, and thanks for your support after the fact. My suggestion is keep out an erasable character card. These are all balanced starting characters. Oh, great. So they let you jump in with balanced characters. So here's an example of those. 8 blank ones. Wow. 6 pads of blank paper. Find at least one other player if you can. Although there are mini games that work just fine if you want to play both sides. Wow. So there's a little bit of a solo mechanic. Play melee with pre-generated characters. Then add wizard. And then, if you like, play through one of or both the solo death test adventures. Now really find a group and play with them. Oh, that's interesting. So they're kind of giving you a course of, if you want to get people into this game, here's how you should learn the system, so that then you can teach other people and bring them in, so you'll have everything. And then in the Labyrinth would be where you'd want to take your first official group in actual campaign. There are 2 color maps and a smaller hexagonal map, and there are Tolankar's Lair Adventure. For the Tolankar's Lair Adventure, decide who's going to be the GM. Only that person should read that booklet, of course. And signed, Steve Jackson. Wonderful. And here's a list of everything that's in the box. So melee, wizard, death test, in the Labyrinth, the Tolankar's Lair, character and treasure cards, the dry erasable kind, and then all of the folios and hex and storage for the hexes. Nice. And there's their Facebook page and website. Oh, cool. And a free tool for making your own. And there we go. Yeah, there's everything. So I guess there are dice. Yeah, so this is... So Melee, the rules for the latest edition of Melee as a PDF are available for free on DriveThruRPG. I'll put a link in the description for this video for that. And that is what made me aware that all of this was going on. And so, as you can see, it's hexes. It's a hex map and tokens on a hex base. So very, if you played any of the Clamshell Steve Jackson games, very standard to a lot of this style of games. And I like you can be disarmed, so they have to have tokens for weapons when you drop them because somebody else can pick them up. So this is basically the combat. This is the combat mechanics for the game, and this is the magic mechanics for the game, and they both can be played. So here is what Wizard looks like. So very similar to Melee. You're just a caster instead of a brawler. Nice. And this size, yeah, this is a very very nostalgic size. So we'll get to those in a sec. And here's the death test. So 2 programmed adventures for use with Fantasy Trip, Melee, and Wizards. So this is then adding those 2 mechanics into actual play. So this is Death Test and Death Test 2. And so all of this, everything I'm showing you in this box is available digitally as a PDF, either directly from Warehouse 23, Steve Jackson Games, or from DriveThruRPG, or anybody, I'm sure, that carries digital versions of RPGs. So we'll open those in a bit. Let's just see what else. So here's the dice. Oh, nice. The red and blue dice matching Melee and Wizard. Let's just take a look. Oh, nice. Yeah, they've got a nice, so gold pips and a nice, what do they call that? The that kind of marble. It's simulating a more marble texture. Yeah, so good quality dice. And here are the cards. So here's blank character cards. And here's the treasure player card. So we'll do this one at a time. Put those dice there. Oh, these are the pads. Sorry, these aren't cards. Oh, those are really cute. So, little pads of little pad character sheets. Oh, those are great. So basically the same size as the cards. And then here are the cards. And they've got instructions. Fighter card instructions. And here are your pre-gen characters. So balanced characters, like they said, for jumping right in. Wow, they sure do give you a lot. And this also means that you've got a lot of NPCs that can join, kind of as henchmen or hirelings, if that is a thing. in the system. Wow. And these are nice. Yeah, they're very nice coated dry erase. You can probably tell from that gloss. They're definitely dry marker repellent. And then of course here are your blank versions of those cards along with a treasure table card. Yeah, so fill in the blank. And then here looks like 3 more pads, like they were talking about, of the sorry, that's really loud, of the wizard, so talents and spells. So here's a more expanded version, including talents and spells. So for a magic user, you're going to need a bit more. So 3 of those pads. Excellent. And a little cardboard divider. Oh, and here looks like a storage box. I'm just going to cheat and read. Oh, this is the character folio. Yeah, they nicely on their, sorry, whoa, on their barcode. But their barcodes, they print what everything is, so I don't have to guess and sound foolish. So here's the character folio to maintain everything. Yeah, a nice little file folder with appears to be a dragon skin cover. Nice to keep everything organized for the campaign. And this looks like one of the maps. So the Southern Olintia. Doing this off camera doesn't make it any quieter. I apologize for that. Oh, there's the screen. Oh, nice. Yeah, so a couple of big hex maps for running that campaign. As you can see, not glossy. This is a nice flat paper, so it's not too shiny on the table. So single-sided, but it's got a nice border. And so that's the more overview map, and here is specifically within a town, it looks like. So not glossy, but nice thick paper stock. Yeah, the village of Benduin, as you can see right down there. Ba-bum. Excellent. So yeah, well printed, very readable. Nice clear hexes, but not kind of overpowering. And here we go, the GM screen. Yeah, this is a trend I've been noticing, maybe because it's easier to see over, but the horizontal screen, so usually, it's a letter size or an A4, and usually I have 3 of them this way, 3 or 4 of them this way, but more recently screens have been horizontal, and probably just because some of the tables and things are present well horizontally, and then you can see over. You just need enough to block the view of dice or notes, so you don't need a towering GM screen. So maybe they're compensating for people that either slouch or aren't very tall and they can not struggle to see, because then of course if you're managing a map, like hold it up this way, if you're managing a map you can reach over the GM screen. I think the worst thing that you can do is knock over your screen onto a map full of tokens or on somebody's miniatures. So that's great. The GM screen and some lovely art. Let's go this way. So some nice thematic art. Yeah, very retro fantasy feel. And here are the record sheets. So this is the reference booklet and color poster. So here we go. So here's the record sheet, an example of a record sheet with the hex map inside. Nice. So reference sheet. Oh yeah, here's reference for everything. More blank examples of the sheets that you can copy, either the cards or the larger pads. I guess both are pads, as well as dry erase cards. And then a nice colorful hex map. Wow, that's excellent. And so showing you where all the so red is level 1, orange is level 2. Stay on the road, I would advise you if you're level 1. Nice. So yeah, passageways through the map. And here we have Tolenkar's Lair. So this is the full campaign that once you actually have a group and you've learned all the mechanics that you can play. Wow, it's really nice to see everything. I've been looking at PDF versions of this, so it's nice to see everything in its physical form. Nice. Yeah, Oh yeah, it looks like some of this does look like newer art, so maybe they did for the Kickstarter some nice black and white but sharp looking art. It doesn't look like marker on copy paper. Oh, I'm spoiling the entire thing for you. And there's some pre-gen characters or possibly NPCs. Yeah, looks like the NPCs. Nice. And here is the layer maps up like previously we saw. So that was the key, I'm sure, for the other area map that we saw. And this would be the key for this campaign. So the Tolankar's layer map to show you where higher level things are than you should be dealing with. Yeah, that's great. So there's, yeah, stairs, slope, shaft, doors, narrow tunnels, concealed tunnels, entrances. Wow, so everything, yeah, everything is here in a key to show you what your players are getting into. Wow, 1980. Sorry, I'll try to get this copyright in here. 1980, 2018. That's crazy. 38 years in the future. It's great. But the, yeah, production quality of everything is nice. Everything is nice quality. The paper is just a flat, you know, basic paper. It's not glossy pages or anything, but it has a nice feel to it. So here is in the Labyrinth. So this book covers role-playing, character creation, and experience in advanced magic combat rules. So if you already have Melee and Wizard, first released in 80 and unavailable for decades, In the Labyrinth is back in a new, expanded, improved edition for daring dungeon delvers. Nice. So they'll cover the background, go through the game system, character talents, and all that stuff in this book. That's great. So to support the core book, oh, here we go. And here's the, oh, it's already very heavy, I can tell. So here is the box supporting all of those hexes. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, so everything is hex based. And we even have tokens, full color tokens. Oh, dead dragon. Tokens to store. This is great. So have the hexes, and then on the back we have different terrain types. So you can just lay things out as they're coming across them. That's nice. You can do nice reveals of things and not have it all on the table. That makes it, yeah, makes it much nicer to not have to lay pieces of paper over it, or, you know, kind of draw as you go. So you're always pausing to watch somebody draw a pit trap or something. Great, nice retro art. So something to punch out. Wow, excellent. Yeah, this is fun. Yeah, I was wondering what these are going to be made of. So these are very, as you can see, these are very glossy card stock, and not insanely thick, not that in a crazy multi-layer board game, but nice and heavy. And also, as you can see, I think these will handle a dry erase marker, just like the other cards do, because of the way that they're finished. And treasure. Nice. So these are the hexes, complete with the giant dragon. So all of those live in there at the bottom of the box. Excellent. So that was what was on the bottom, and let's see if there's any other goodie. And there is another box. The Fantasy Trips of the logo, like a donut box. Oh, nice. Oh, this is awesome. I almost fell over. Oh, that's awesome. So Melee and Wizard in an old school box. Oh, geez. Yeah, so this must have been their original presentation, or a style of the original presentation. So here's the clamshells, like I was talking about. So this is the size of the original plastic clamshell boxes, and they were plastic boxes with a big sticker on the front and a big sticker on the back. Oh, geez, this just knocked me out. I love this. This gets me in the nostalgia spot. Ouch. Oh, this is great. Let me see how I can get in here. So usually the others had the clips on the side. This might be, I think it's an intelligence test. There we go. Wow. Wow, look at that. The little dice in the original books. Yeah, I have a PDF of this little original book. Oh, this is great. So this is something that we would have at the lunch table back in the day if we could get away with it. Oh, look at all the tokens. Yeah, so card tokens, and then the wizard and melee maps, paper maps, along with the 2d6 that you need, or 3d6. That's excellent. Excellent, excellent. Oh yeah, and always the little baggies for all the counters. Oh, this got me. I don't know why it's in such a giant box, but I'm glad it was. That was a big surprise. Oh, this is super nostalgia. That's great. I'm so glad that that was part of the Kickstarter to kind of bring it back to what this originally where this originally came from. Ah, that's so cool. Wow. Okay, that's easily my favorite part, and worth all of the customs wrangling that I had to deal with. And I think this is just, oh no, one more thing. A neoprene hex map. Wow. Yeah, so this is very noisy, but this is the kind of mouse pad fabric, the kind of non-slip rubberized neoprene on the back. And we've got two, oh, this is nice, two big neoprene maps, one for wizard, where you're casting over deadly pits, and then one for melee. Yeah, so these look like dice color neoprene versions of the paper maps that are included in those sets. Oh, which we haven't opened yet, so I guess we'll take a look and have at them. So let's pop one of these open just so we can show you. Oh yeah, really nice. So not too thick, so it's rollable. You know, you can keep this under control, but a nice finish, a nice fabric finish on there. Wow, excellent. So that is the melee map. Oh, looks great. And the larger wizard one looks like the exact same quality, exact same thickness. Sorry about all that paper noise. Wow, well, I'm still reeling over this. This is so cool. I mean, this is it. This is the plastic that those games all came in. And because it's two games, it's double thick. That's excellent. And a lot of them had a little ring up here for hanging them, you know, for display. So they had that weird oblong with a bump on top hook to hang for retail. That's great. And of course these stickers always got worn out putting them in a bag. So here are the dice that they included that they said match. So we'll put that to the test and take a peek inside melee. So this obviously is the newer edition of melee. So like I showed you in the little paper booklet, now you get it in a little cardboard box. Oh, that's right, it is, yeah. Nice. So they do give you, for playing, a fourth die. So a bag for everything. And it looks like a duplication. Yeah, it's the same booklet. It is the same booklet that was in there. A set of the dice matching the new set, and then the large paper map and the tokens. But these look to be a bit larger. Yeah, so I guess the hex map is a larger. So little, oh yeah, that's right. So that's why you're seeing that. So the neoprene map matches this version. So the newer version, and that's so kind that as the gamers get older, they start to make the components larger. But yeah, so that neoprene one that I showed you is a color embellished version of this one. So larger hexes, the larger hexes are for these larger tokens. So the pocket box, the clamshell that I showed you, had the smaller, maybe these are double size, I would imagine it looks like. So a lot easier to see, and a bigger, more massive on the table. Just take a quick look. Yeah, so you get all your combatants. So you basically, if you just want to play melee as a little hex-based strategy game, you basically very easily roll a character with strength and dexterity, equip them with a weapon, and that gives you all your rolls. And so then you just use the system, or in gladiatorial combat you kill large animals. And they have, yeah, so they have larger boss type opponents and then prone markers for when you're knocked down. So you remember all of that. Yeah, so here is the larger version. Everything in the bag. That's great. Yeah, so this is the newer retail version with the larger map. And these all go together. So that's melee. And then here's wizard. So wizard is your spell casting, and so you put these two together, and then you know. Oh, you can't see that at all because it look later. And then you know how to swing swords and cast spells. So here's wizard. I'm assuming with a much bigger map. It has that big map with the pits on it. So there we go, and yeah, nice matching marble dice. So there's the little booklet. So the same little booklet. So actually, if you're playing against each other, you can both have a copy of this booklet because you have two. And a reference sheet because there's a little bit more going on than just swinging and falling and getting back up in Wizard. And then again, the larger tokens and the very large map. So Wizard, I guess because you have range, you're using a lot more range with spells. A much larger map for Wizard, of course. Wow. This is great. This is really great. So I'm playing a catch-up. I'm making up for my misspent youth. So yeah, a game designer and a company that I loved as a kid, and I had no idea how much of a role-play system they had actually built back in the day. And of course they do GURPS, right? So that was another thing that I never played, and I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, here's your dragon that in the big set you got a full color version of. I don't know if it was just weird brand loyalty, like not being able to escape the clutches of D&D in the 80s or what that was, but we just did not venture at all away from that brand. It's really, yeah, really crazy. Whatever the psychology of that is. So here we go. So that's your combat and your spell casting. Oh, with a missing plastic bag. Let me just stick this in here. I didn't put the map back in Melee. Anyhow, let's not waste your time with that. And then the last one is Death Test. So this is Death Test 1 and 2. And I think you can get them individually. You get everything as a PDF. So if you want to try any of this stuff out, take a look at that link in the description for this video. And because all of it, as you can see, it's a lot of the maps and everything. It's all black and white. It's very printer friendly. So, and I say that, and there's a color cover, but yeah, the interiors are all black and white, so very printer friendly. So you can very easily do this. Oh, nice. Yes, Death Test is a programmed adventure using Melee and Wizard. You must have Melee to play, and then Wizard will allow you to add magic combat. So the Death Test booklet sets up the rooms for you, gives you decisions to make, and tells you the outcomes of those decisions. Nice, so kind of testing. And that's great. That's something that I think a lot of games are starting to do, is include solo adventures. And the solo adventure isn't really for the players, it's for the GM to learn the system, and before he gets to the table not having to embarrass himself and look up a rule because he's played through a pre-written solo adventure that's going to show you this is how we know how healing works, and this is how ranged works, this is how casting works, and all of that stuff is already, you've already seen an example of it. And it's not just like a little box in a example, like in italics and examples in the rulebook. You've actually like spent the time to lay things out and play it. Oh, sorry, let me go through everything that's in there. So there's the booklet, and there's Death Test 2, so 1 and 2, and then the tokens. So these are tokens that are specific to the Death Test adventure, including treasure chests. So nice. And these look like the larger tokens as well to go on the larger map. Very cool. All right. And I think we have done it. So here's the 3 little boxed parts of this. And it was nice on the read this first, they kind of explain to you why there's these 3 separate components and what they're doing. They're basically teaching you the game. And yeah, so this is great. If you missed this Kickstarter like I did, this is definitely worth picking up. And I'm sure domestically, if you're in North America, it will ship to you much more cheaply. But it's a nice set. The components are great. And this is included. Yeah, so that is a... yeah, definitely something that must have been supported by the Kickstarter funds. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that it was. So... here is, yeah, here we go. I'll just put a few of the basic things. So a couple of softbound books, the companion that was a goal, and then the hardcover rule book for Fantasy Trip. So this is great. I can't wait to go through this, especially Death Test. And I just love, I mean, Melee and Wizard, those are like lunchtime, especially in this tiny version. This is like a lunch break kind of thing to play, and that's great that those things still exist. So this has been an unboxing of the I Want It All box, which is everything from the Kickstarter for the Fantasy Trip game by Steve Jackson Games, available at Warehouse 23 and digitally available on DriveThruRPG and just about everywhere. So thank you for joining me, and I hope this was fun, and I hope this gave you some hope. I hope this gave you some happiness that things will be normal again. You will be playing face-to-face with your friends again, and we will be at the end of all of this madness soon. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel for more videos and notifications, and share this to a group if you are part of any Steve Jackson fan groups or groups that support any of the games. Please have them take a look at this video, and we will be back with more unboxings and hopefully a play of some Fantasy Trip in the future. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye.